Sripada Srivallabha Charitamritham, Chapter 8. Description of Incarnations of Datta. Those who pine for Brahmagnana are Brahmins. Next day, after finishing daily worship, Tirumala Das began to narrate in the following sun. Shankara, but when the revelation of soul takes place, the 16 potencies merge with their respective elements. The powers of various deities enter in their basic origin of consciousness. The knowledge of self and all actions get absorbed in the form of Brahman. Whoever yearns for such Brahmagnana, that is, knowledge of Paramatma, is really a Brahmin. Life, faith, sky, air, fire, sea, earth, organs of the body, mind, food, water, thought, mantras, actions, worlds, various names in the worlds are called 16 potencies. Sripada Srivallabha is a comprehensive incarnation of Parabrahma endowed with Shodasha Kala, that is, all 16 potencies. Food becomes mind. By sattvic food, purity of mind takes place. Brahma created life at first. Life is the totality of life in the universe. This is called subtle soul, the Hiranyagarbha. The creator is also having the name Hiranyagarbha. The urge or drive for creation in the physical, mental and intellectual facets of man is named prana, that is, life force. The pranamaya kosa body is called Shakti Sharira, that is, body of strength. The physical troubles can be removed by correcting the life consciousness. The pranamaya sarira becomes diseased prior to the onset of disease in humans. The gross body becomes ill only afterwards. After the urge for creation gets confident, the 5 elements are formed. To perceive the attributes of the 5 elements, the 5 organs are created. The mind is formed to coordinate these organs and to oversee that all functions take place at the same time. Human beings should observe adequate precautions in the matter of food. Mind is formed out of the infinitesimal components of food. If mind is strengthened by food, thoughts abound. When this stream of thoughts are regulated and controlled, such reflection of thoughts flow is termed as mantra. When sacrifices and other rituals are conducted as ordained by scriptures and when mantras are chanted systematically, such process is called karma. The construction of the world was done according to karmas. World cannot exist without name and form. In this way, the shackle with links of profound misery is formed with 16 colors. In human anatomy, each organ is influenced by a particular deity. When the soul reveals to the yogi in deep meditation, the 16 potencies merge in their respective elements. The powers in the physical organs of the yogi gets mixed in the elements in the innermost recess of the universe. Human beings with organs of actions and organs of knowledge cannot remain without action. Liberation cannot be achieved unless the ego is destroyed. Only from the promptings of ego in man, actions are performed. Aham, that is ego, is the glow of consciousness regulated by the stipulations of mind and intellect. For the yogi who has Atma Sakshatkara, that is, the vision of soul, the fruits of actions in the previous life will get totally annulled. Unless the separatist tendency of the ego is completely destroyed, Atma Sakshatkara will not take place. When the yogi had the vision of Atma, scriptural rituals and their rewards, the ego center and its illusionary tricks merge in the eternal Paramatma. The yogi will merge with Paramatma and lose his individuality. Paramatma is having individuality and is a personification of Shakti, that is power. With the destruction of karmas and their results, yogi attains siddha avastha, that is, a state of perfection. Even when his gross body is experiencing the effects of karma, when he has no awareness of physical body, he remains in a liberated state. God may sometimes reveal his divine play through a perfect yogi. If yogi mistakes that the strength and efficiency belong to him, Paramatma would withdraw them and destroy his pride. If yogi has to come, an instrument in the hands of Paramatma, his egoistic arrogance must be liquidated in that super soul. Sri Bapan had transmitted power from the solar region into the Sri Mallikarjuna Linga in Sri Shaila, Mahabaleshwara Linga in Gokarna, and in other holy places. Transmission of power also took place in the icon of worship of self-existent Datta. This power related to the fire has to be pacified, otherwise the priest and all the worshippers will be punished due to the terrible power of the icon of worship. Undesirable results will follow. Only yogis who had internal knowledge can understand the matter that the power from the solar region descended into self-manifested Datta. The transmission of power in Sri Shaila took place under the direction of Sri Bapan in the presence of thousands of people. A brilliant illumination released from the region of sun merged in the Mallikarjuna Linga when all people who were present witnessed the spectacle. There is an important secret divine mystery between this transfer of power and the actual incarnation of Sripada Sri Vallabha. That is a matter to be divulged to or to be known only by great sages. In Sri Shaila, a great sacrifice of propitiation was conducted. As food was offered to thousands of people, the fire of hunger was assuaged on a mass scale. When Shakti sheds its ferocity and remains in a tranquil state, all auspicious events happen in that placid state. However, there were no visible indications in Pitapuram that Shakti Pata took place in Sri Swayambhu Datta. Therefore, no propitiatory rituals were conducted. Even when Sri Bapan suggested that massive food offering should be held and that other procedures of pacification should take place, the local Pandits rejected the proposal with their ill-conceived arguments. Sripada is totally accomplished with 16 lustrous potencies. Time was passing by. Sripada entered into second year of age. Through his many sportive miracles, he was proclaiming the matter that his was the glorious incarnation of the age endowed completely with all his 16 splendiferous faculties. He left Pitapuram when he was 16 years old. Afterwards, he moved about 14 years in Kurvapuram and other places, but his age remained constant as 16 years. The names of Dattathreya's 16 incarnations. There is another significance to the number 16. Sri Dattatreya Swami revealed himself in 16 forms in ancient times. These forms are Yogiraj, Atrivarada, Digambaravaduta Dattatreya, Kalagni Shamana, Yogi Jana Vallabha, Leela Vishwambara, Siddharaja, Jnana Sagara, Vishwambara Avaduta, Maya Mukuta Avaduta, Adi Guru, Samaskarahina Shivaswarupa, Devadeva, Digambara, Datta Avaduta, Shyama Kamala Lochana. Lord Sri Datta grants happiness, enjoyments, and liberation. To worship him, it is enough to worship his divine Padukas. The 4 Vedas assume the form of 4 dogs and are licking his holy sandals. Vedas absolve all impurities. When such Vedas themselves became dirty dogs and lie at the lotus feet of Datta, it is difficult for humans to guess about his holiness. Even for celestials and 7 sages, it is very highly impossible. In ancient ages, during the time of incarnation of Vamana, one sage by name Vamadeva Maharshi was living as his contemporary. During the time of birth, his head came out of the womb of his mother and at once retreated into the womb after seeing the surroundings outside. Then, when deities and hermits prayed, he was born again. He was Brahmagnani from the very birth. The same thing happened in the birth of Sripada also. As he was born twice, he is Dvija, that is, twice born, from the very birth. He is a Brahmagnana Sampanna, that is, one who is rich with the knowledge of Paramatma, from the very birth. As he incarnated with complete, undivided and infinite non-dualistic Satchidananda, that is, fountain of being, intelligence and happiness, there was no preceptor for him. Sripada was born on Ganesh Chaturthi in Chitta Nakshatra under the Tula Rasi in Simha Lagna. In reality, he is not the combined form of the Trinity, but a special phenomenon much beyond them, to indicate that he belongs to 4th dimension, transcending the Trinity. He took birth on Chaturthi, also suggesting that he is Ganesha, who is the lord of Pravritti Ganas and Nivrutti Ganas. He took birth on Ganesha Chaturthi. Mars or Angaraka is the lord of Chitta star. Angaraka is also called planet Mangala. If this planet is afflicted, many inauspicious events take place in the life of the person. Sripada was born in Chitta star to remove all ill effects and to grant all auspicious results. Hence, if Sripada is worshipped during the tenure of Chitta star, one derives abundant beneficial results. Sripada is actually Dharmasasta. So, to make it known that he is the son of Hari and Hara, Sri Ayyappa Swami, he is born in Tula Rashi. He was born in Simha, that is Leo Lagna, the house of the sun, the king of all planets. He is making it clear that he is the Lord of the universe and that he is the emperor who came to hold his resplendent royal darbar. There are no niceties of Dharma unknown to Sripada. When a dilemma of Dharma arises, right path of righteousness would be visible when we worship him. Trimurtis from Lord Sri Datta. From Trimurtis, 3 crores of celestials. And from those celestials, 33 crores of deities emerged. Therefore, when the name of Datta is remembered, it results in the remembrance of all the 33 crores deities. From the Brahma face of Datta, Rishi Puja, that is, worship as for a sage, has to be done. For the Vishnu face of Datta, Sri Satyanarayana Vrata and chanting of Vishnu Sahasranama are to be conducted. For the Rudra face of Datta, Rudrabhisheka is to be performed. As Saraswati resides on the tongue of Brahma, she resides on the Brahma face of Sri Datta. As Sri Mahalakshmi dwells in the chest of Vishnu, she resides in the Vishnu face of Sri Datta. As Gauri Devi occupies the left side of Shiva, she resides on the Shiva face of Sri Datta. As Sri Datta himself is Sripada Srivallabha, all goddesses and their powers are on the left side of the body of Sripada, and all gods and their powers are on the right side of the body of Sripada. Sri Venkateshwara, who manifested on the 7 hills in Tirupati, is verily Lord Datta only. Vem means since. Kata stands for cutter, or one who derives out. Vem is Amruta Bija and Kata is Ishwara Bija. There, Venkateshwara is the one who bestows divine ambrosia and affluence. He is also the one who derives out all sins. There is no difference between Sri Venkateshwara and Sripada Srivallabha. They are one and the same. Then I said like this: Swami, Tirumaladas, our ancient elders enjoined that the regulations of caste systems are to be strictly followed. However, I feel that Sripada is telling something different. Please remove my doubt. The characteristic traits of a Brahmin. Then Tirumala Das began to tell them in the following manner: My child, a Brahmin should live like a seeker of Brahmagnana. Then only he will be called as Sat Brahmin, that is, a good Brahmin. One who abandons the ordained duties and follow bad ways becomes a bad Brahmin. When his bad ways exceed and he indulges in such acts as killing a cow and eating its flesh, coveting other women, it may be understood that he did not possess even an iota of Brahmanism. On account of excessive bad conduct, the Brahmanic glow in him would be totally withdrawn. Even the life cells in his body undergo many changes and he finally becomes a Chandala, that is, a pariah. Then he becomes a Brahmin for name's sake. A Kshatriya with an intense desire for Brahmagnana can attain Brahminhood through constant penance. Then the life cells in his body from birth get transformed into Brahmanic nature. Vishwamitra achieved Brahminhood in this way. When Saturn travels through 3 zodiac houses during 7.5 years of life, cells in the body of every individual undergo many changes. Old life cells die and new life cells are created. All this process will be going on without the knowledge of man. The characteristic traits of Kshatriya. A Kshatriya who leaves his regular duty and engage in a peaceful activity like agriculture, animal husbandry and trade, his military valor will not at all remain if the peaceful occupations reach a zenith. His mind, intellect and body undergo many changes and he becomes a Vaishya, that is, a merchant. A Brahmin who follows the path of a soldier becomes a person like Parasurama. Have not Dronacharya and Krupacharya, though Brahmins by birth, adopted a knightly profession in ancient times? Have I not realized Brahmin through the grace of Sripada even though I am a Loka Sudra? A person who is born as a Sudra can become a Vaishya or a Kshatriya or a Brahmin through relentless endeavor. Yamadharma Raja will not punish or will punish merely because of the birth of a person in a particular caste. Rewards are awarded based upon the good and bad deeds of ours. I may be born as a Brahmin in the next birth, even though I am a Sudra by birth now. A Brahmin by birth may take birth as a Shudra in the next birth. Caste system is organized for some social regulations. Once, Sripada told that Almighty's face indicate Brahmanatva, hands indicate Kshatriyatva, thighs Vaishatva and feet Shudratva. Shankara Bhatt, you are accepting the hospitality in our house. The meals in our house are Brahmin meals only. The secret of karma. This surrounding area, which is constantly reverberating with the chanting of Sripada's name and is filled with thoughts about him, is overflowing with auspicious and sacred vibrations. Narasavadini is a Brahmin by birth, but all the material, mental, and spiritual pulsations in his house are venomous. Therefore, Sripada rejected hospitality in the Brahmin house, which was filled with polluted, airy atmosphere. This is the secret. Living beings should have some castes to take birth following the principle of karma in the process of evolution or devolution. This arrangement was made for that purpose. John, a German national, was a seeker of Brahmagnana. Because of his sincere efforts, he had the good fortune of having the vision of Sripada in Kuruvapuram in the final stages of spiritual evolution. He was blessed with the efficacious grace of Sripada even though he was an alien. Though a resident of Pitakapura, Narasavadini could not recognize Sripada as an incarnation for many years. Hence, he could obtain the grace of Sripada even after recognizing him only after a great and arduous effort. Then Shankara Bhatt questioned like this: Swami, you told that living cells undergo changes. Then, will each race has a soul of its own? What is the idea behind the statement that Parvati Devi is the daughter of Himalaya mountain? Then Tirumala Das spoke thus: Every race has a soul, that is, a mental matter. That is a part or a portion released from the divine soul, Sri Datta. That is a great power which has always a direct connection with it. Race is not a collection of individuals born in it, as you mistakenly assume. In that collective individuality, the various strengths, efficiencies, and attributes of all the concerned individuals lie inside. Just as living cells exist in the living individuals, in the same way each village, each town, and each country have their own souls. The earth in which we live in also has a soul. We call that soul as Bhumata, that is, Mother Earth. It means that we are calling that deity favoring the earth as Bhumata. Her soul is great, related to Mahashakti emanated from the Supreme Soul. In the same manner, the patron deity of Himalayan mountain is named as Himavanta. Haimavati is the daughter of that Himavanta. When it is said that Yamadharma Raja is the son of Sun God, who is a witness of all things, the meaning is that he is a divine soul who delivers judgments depending upon the good and bad deeds of living beings and punishes sinners. Only on account of Surya Bhagwan, all living beings are deriving the necessary life force to undertake respective activities. The sun adorning the sky is different, and the divine soul, who is the patron deity of that sun, is different. I told you that Sripada would disappear when he is 30 years old. He will merge in every atom of crores and crores of Brahmanandas. He is omnipresent. You may ask, then what is this merger? Even though he is omnipresent, crores and crores of greater universes are situated at some distance from his power and influence. To accelerate evolutionary processes in them, he attracts them nearer to his power and influence. When a certain crisis develops in the evolutionary stages of the entire creation, Sri Dattatreya incarnates in this fashion. Magnet attracts iron. When the iron is having impurities, the power of attraction becomes weak. This kind of avatar descends when it is intended to remove all impurities and attract every atom in the creation towards him and give a fresh direction to the evolution of the universe. Explanation of 5 virgins, that is, Panchakanyas. Shankara Bhatt asked Tirumala Das, it is said that uttering daily the names of Ahalya, Draupadi, Sita, Tara, and Mandodri destroys great sins. It is not easily understood by me. Kindly explain. Tirumala Das then told, Devendra had infatuation for Ahalya. He contrived a cunning scene to enjoy her. He assumed the form of a cock and crowed. Gautama went out for performing due rituals thinking that it was early morning dawn. Devendra could not touch Ahalya, who was a great devoted wife. Devendra was having divine powers, so from the strong mind power under the infatuation for Ahalya, a form of woman resembling Ahalya emerged. All the living cells in the body of the duplicate Ahalya were formed by the strong mind power of Devendra. Gautama, who saw Indra indulging in sexual intercourse with the duplicate Ahalya, cursed them both. Then Ahalya explained, "Oh, foolish sage, what have you done?" Ahalya was spiritually in an exalted position than Gautama. From the curse of Ahalya, Gautama became mentally unstable for 12 years and regained normalcy after adoring Lord Shiva. The mental power of Ahalya became inert. With that, her body also became inert and turned into a rock. Ahalya was redeemed from that curse when the dust particles from the feet of Sri Rama fell on her. Therefore, understand that Ahalya is very pious. The cursed Devendra took birth as 5 Pandavas. Even though having 5 forms and 5 minds, their supporting souls were only one. This is a very strange thing. Sachidevi was born as Draupadi from the sacrificial altar. Her birth is not an ordinary one. The god of fire hid real Sita inside him. Ravana took Maya Sita to Lanka. When Sita entered fire, 2 Sitas came out. Therefore, know that Sita Devi is a great devoted Pativrata, that is, chaste, virtuous, and pious wife. There are 27 stars in the 12 houses of zodiac. The patron deity for the 27 stars were born as Tara Devi. When she was in her full youth, the patron deity of planet Guru, Brihaspati, loved her and married her. An old husband cannot satisfy the full-blown young damsel. This is a travesty of Dharma. Violating the solemn pledges made during marriage cannot be pardoned. Tara Devi was not having the idea of a husband whenever she saw Brihaspati. The responsibility for evoking the feeling of a husband in her rests with Brihaspati. He, who knew all dharmas, behaved in violation of dharma. The live cells in the body of Tara Devi underwent many changes in tune with her mental attitude. The form of moon was established in her mind. Her heart was captured by moon. This transformed Tara Devi, who was not at all the same Tara Devi who married Brihaspati before. Therefore, the connection between Tara and Chandra was not a violation of Dharma. According to the regulations of creation, Chandra has to go around all the 27 stars. It is his duty. This is not the duty of planet Jupiter. If Jupiter were to move like this, it would become a transgression of Dharma. Anything which violates Dharma is bound to be destroyed. Therefore, it is Dharma that the patron deity of 27 stars, Tara Devi, joins Moon, the patron deity of Chandra Mandala. My child, in consonance with this subtle Dharma, Tara Devi is a Mahapativrata. Bhishma on his bed of arrows gave beneficial preaching to Dharmaraja. Bhishma told, when bad things take place, they must be stopped, if possible. Otherwise, they should leave the place where an unrighteous thing occur. On hearing this, Draupadi laughed loudly. Then Bhishma said, I kept quiet when the modesty of Draupadi was outraged. I was taking the food offered by Duryodhana and others at that time. So my mind was corrupted then. Now all that bad blood came out of the body. At present my mind is unblemished. I understood the truth. A living being takes many births in the process of evolution. It may be born as female in some births and as a male in some other births. They may be born as animals or birds without having human birth. Mandodari was born as a male in one birth. In that life, she was having a fickle-minded wife, a cruel wife, and a gentle-natured wife. The fickle-minded wife was born as a monkey under the name Vali. The cruel wife took birth as Ravana, and the gentle-natured wife was born as Vibhishana. In a different kalpa, that is, a combination of 4 yugas, when Mandodari was born as a male, all the 3 were his wives. In the present birth, Mandodari became wife to Varli and gave birth to Angada. Afterwards, she became the wife of Ravana. After the death of Ravana, she became the royal wife of Vibhishana. The life cells at different stages when she was the wife of Vali, Ravana, and Vibhishana are different and varied. Therefore, Mandodari is also a Mahapativrata. Then Shankara Bhatt asked, Swami, it is said that women and men should observe monogamy. Is not polygamy reprehensible? The development of cycle of karma. Then Tirumala Das said, what you are telling is very much true. If a person subjects his wife to harassment without any reason, he becomes a young widow for 7 births. If a man marries 4 or 5 females, he will be born as a female in the next birth. If the sexual desires and the urges of those 4 or 5 females are not destroyed, then they take birth as males and have sexual indulgence with that female. If this happens in one life, it becomes adultery, which is a sin. On the other hand, if those males marry her in different births separately, no sin arises. This is the power of wheel of time. In the rotation of this great wheel, many such countless wonders take place. If one takes the birth of a female, the duties of that birth have to be followed. So is the case of males. The sinner who separate a couple would take birth as a eunuch. He would be impotent, not belonging to any gender, and be deprived of marital bliss. He experiences utter misery and undergoes mental agony. Eating meat is prohibited. Suppose one killed a goat and ate it in the company of 10 others. That goat experiences terrible pain at the time of the exit of life. Those painful reactions lie concealed in the airy region. My boy, in the sphere of air, painful reactions and happy reactions lie concealed. Good deeds produce happy vibrating reactions and bad deeds produce agitating reactions. The dead goat intends to harm the 10 persons who ate her. On account of its thought about humans, the goat takes the life of a man. Then 10 persons are born as goats. In this way, the results of action ensue. For every action, there would be a corresponding reaction. Therefore, man should cultivate the quality of forgiveness. A sattvic person would not like to eat the flesh of goat, even if he saw it. Even if the goat happened to be the man who ate it, if he forgives and grants it life, the wheel of karma stops. The collective virtue and the collective sin of the residents of Pitakapura fructified at once and became the cause for the birth of Sripada Srivallabha. Pious people realized him as Sri Datta and derived auspicious results. Sinners did not realize him as Sripada Srivallabha and suffered ill effects. Those who abuse Sripada Srivallabha fall into Raurava and other hells, even though they adore Sri Datta. It is better to be silent if the matter is not understood, but one should not abuse that beautiful, divine, glorious, auspicious and magnanimous form. Those who offer camphor arati to his face but drive nails in his feet, and those who abuse the incarnation of Sri Datta would have venereal diseases. Not only this, Sri Datta has added a peculiar yogic power in his sportive play of grace. For pious people, the remembrance of the name of Sri Datta brings fulfillment of all their desires unasked for and without any effort. For those sinners who abuse Sri Pada, countless obstacles and undesirable things occur in strange ways. Sri Padas is a form of fire. He wears a fabric of fire. His body is an embodiment of holy fire of yoga. To describe the efficiency of his holy padukas, even aeons are not sufficient. It is impossible even for Vedas and Upanishads to describe and completely narrate the greatness of his Shri Padukas. How many yugas elapsed? How many kalpas passed? How many cycles of creation, sustenance, and destruction took place? Nevertheless, Sri Datta is Sri Datta only. There is none comparable to him. He is verily Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. Every atom in this creation bears testimony to this supreme truth. The reconsecration of self-existent Datta. A strange Avaduta came to Pitakapuram. He was a mad monk. He was a peculiar ascetic who blessed people through curses and abuses. If he praised anyone, the fruits from virtuous deeds of the other person gets diminished. The residents of Pitakapura inquired from him about the whereabouts of self-manifested Datta. Then that Siddha informed them that self-manifested Datta took bath in all holy centers and was resting in river Ella. Then, when a search was conducted in Ella River, the statue of self-manifested Datta came out. During an auspicious time, Apara Sarva Mangala Devi Sumati Maharani and Appala Raj Sharma, shining with Brahmanic brilliance, reconsecrated that icon. This was done according to the wish of that Siddha. Sri Bapannarya presided over that grand celebration. Birth of Sri Vidyaranya. Bapannarya invited that Siddha to their house for bhiksha, that is, donation of food or money, on the day when reconsecration took place in the temple. Siddha agreed. He saw Sripada in the house. An overwhelming filial affection swelled in him on that divine child aged 2 years who was threading softly on the floor. The divine child climbed onto the shoulder of his maternal uncle Venkavadani. He was playing merrily with the tuft of the hair on the head of his uncle. He saw Siddha and started laughing. Siddha, who heard that laughter, went into the trance. After he returned to normalcy, Sripada said, Madhava, Bukka Raidu establishes a Hindu kingdom as per your wish when I attain 16 years of age. You protect Harihara and Bukka Raya. May you become famous under the name of Vidyaranya Maharshi. In the ensuing century, Govinda Dikshitlu will be born in the house of your brother Sayanacharya. That Govinda Dikshitlu is none but you. May you prosper as a Rajarshi and a great minister of Tanjavur. Then tears of joy showered from the eyes of that Siddha. He embraced Sripada. Sripada paid obeisance to the feet of Siddha sportively. Siddha exclaimed, What is this wonder? Then Sripada said, You will ascend Sringeri Pita and become well known as Vidyaranya. You will be born as Krishna Saraswati, as the third one in the lineage of your disciples. You will have a lot of filial affection towards me. Therefore, when I incarnate again as Nrsimha Saraswati, you will initiate me into the aesthetic order as my preceptor, Sri Krishna Saraswati in Kashi. Kashi Vishweshwara and Annapurna Mata are witnesses. You have to restore aesthetic dharma. The manner in which Vajapeya Jalu Mahadevacharya belonging to Parasara Gotra, comprising of Vashishta, Shakti and Parasara sages became famous as Vidyaranya Maharshi, and some more things will be told tomorrow. Saying so, Tirumala Das concluded the narration for that day.